Flows, the innovation platform that sets your ideas free.
Hello, everybody, and welcome to this new format that we decided at Flows to introduce. Today, I'm with Mike Broughton, our CTO, and we will discuss a little bit about techs and about how Flows, from the technical point of view, was born and how it could help all the people around the industry with our solution. Hello, Mike. Good morning.
Hello. Good morning. Good morning. All good down there, I hope.
Yes, everything is fine here. So, Mike, let's start a little bit with the first question. So, can you tell us about a little bit more your background before you started creating Flows?
Of course, yeah, gladly. Well, I'm kind of a Plymouth boy from the UK, deep southwest. I started doing mathematics at university, which is, of course, lovely code and algorithmic, leads you into programming quite nicely.
Of course.
Yeah, did a bit of astronomy during the PhD days, and then kind of came into the work straight into computing, a company called Workplace in those days. Progressed my way through different contracts, Ferrari, Sitner, fashion houses like Stylus, and then met the enigmatic Robin Reed in those days from the Donker.com, which became Guts, which became iGaming Cloud, and then Gig, and finally Flows. That's kind of my history in a nutshell.
That's very nice. That's very nice. So, but then, why Flows? Why you did decide to create it? What led you to that to the concept of Flows?
Okay, well, yeah, when you it goes right the way back to, believe it or not, to around 1995, when I was in a different company completely at the start of my career. And we were trying to work out how to add some generic kind of if-then statements into a product we had then called Change Planner. But we realized then the power of having some kind of a flow engine, as we call it now, or soft rules engine. It allows you to really empower the customer themselves. They can change things. They can actually reroute things according to their exact requirements without involving a team of technical people, without having the backlog and everything. So it really took hold then, and I've been looking for a way to introduce it. And Flows is that route. Flows is our route to market.
Well, yes, I can clearly see this trend on the market that we will discuss a little bit later on the stage, that empowering, let's say, non-technical people with tools that can speed up the time to market is crucial in, especially in our industry that is expanding and evolving so fast that it's really something that it was necessary. Let's put it this way.
It's true, but being unique out there is key. And if you can actually change it, the moment you put it on the backlog of a PAM or something like that, then everybody has it. So, Flows allows you to have your own unique set of requirements that you don't have to share with anybody. It's your secret.
Of course. So you arrived to the conclusion that our industry needed Flows. So how long did it take for you to have the tech up and running to the point that you knew that it would work?
That's always a two-phase. I've got a lot of experience in doing PAMs and things like that. So the initial will this work, as always, is normally quite quick. The proof of concept, getting the engine to actually do what you wanted it to do and to make sure it could scale and do all these wonderful things. That was actually quite fast. The thing that takes the longest time is actually getting the UX correct, because this is a powerful thing for, we're trying to make it available to almost anybody. So trying to get that UX correct is the thing that takes a long time. So the actual computer part, getting the back-end scaling and everything, that was relatively quick. But now comes the hard part of making it usable for the average person. And
yes, because eventually the UX is what is, let's say, giving the chance to a product to succeed against another one. Because even if, say, the engine, the background could be similar or the same, but then if that product or one of the options has a terrible UX experience, then everybody else would just switch to the one that is better and is more usable. Let's put it this way.
That's it. Absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely
yes.
correct. Yes.
But then we are saying that basically Flows can be integrated with any system. But I'm curious to know a little bit about this aspect specifically. How easy is the integration process? What does it involve? Because I'm speaking with many potential customers and many people in our industry, and this is a recurrent question where they ask me, okay, what about the integration?
Yeah, of course. It's everybody's bugbear, isn't it? How difficult is it to integrate? Some people have months, some people have even more. Ours is incredibly simple. So at the end of the day, the best way to describe flows is that we listen and eat data. That's what we do. We just take all the data in. The shape of the data is the important thing with us. That is the integration phase. So we take Rabbit, Kafka, SQS, or even direct API calls. We don't care. But what we want to do is learn the shape of the data. So there are two ways to get data into us. Incredibly simple way is just a curl. Send the API request and we learn the shape. So you can just integrate any API, you can just call us from the front end. It could be from your phone directly. It doesn't have to be server to server. It could be your phone or your desktop or anything at all to us. That is literally an API call. And the integration is literally the first time you call us, we shape the data, it automatically pops up in your flow engine, and you can then use that data. So literally one call. The more complex one, the Kafkas, the Rabbits, etc. Well, we need an access point. So we either come into your Kafka, for example, you give us access to your Kafka and we just listen, or you can shovel it off in Rabbit terms and onto our secondary servers. It's up to you. But essentially, we need a point to listen to your data, and that is the integration. Setting up your environment is literally a create new team in our backend, and it's
I understand.
hours. It's very fast indeed.
Very good, very good. And now I'm curious about this next question that I'm going to ask you, because of course, so far probably have made, I don't know, weeks, if not months, in hours of demos. So probably have built so many different flows that I'm so curious to understand, what is your best flow that somebody maybe asked you to create, or you decided to create out of the blue?
Of course, it's one of those ever evolving things, and the ones that come out of left field are my favorites. They really are the ones you're not expecting. So we've got 100 sort of flows out there at the moment. It's very difficult to pick a favorite one, because some of them, like the VIP ones, they are really industry specific, and they help people out so much. You know, you're about to have a churn, or you're about to have a new VIP, or VIP depositing badly, or something like that. These are all brilliant. And the affiliate ones we've got there are some super affiliate ones and some very clever CPA or rev share tricks in there that they're doing with flows. These are all great. Tournaments across groupings. These are unheard of things that we can just pull out the bag. They're great. Risk and fraud. We have some super examples of responsible gaming where we notice there's a problem and we actually send a message on site to the user, you know, do you need to speak to an agent? And they hit the yes, no button, which comes back to flow, and we record, yes, he needs help, or no, he doesn't. And then we open a chat. It's great stuff. But all of these are fairly kind of normal-ish to flows at the moment, because we've got so many of them. So the weirdest one that I really thought was great is a petrol station one based on a loyalty card. So you go into a petrol station, you fill up, and we know the amount of fuel you put in, and we know exactly where you are in terms of latitude and longitude. And then you go for a drive, and 2 hours later, you fill up again. And the flow actually sits there and says, did you fill up? How far did you drive? Looks like you're a loyal customer. It's a very cold day. Give the man a free coffee. And it's things like that where people are really using it straight in bizarre ways. But it's the time to market. That's what's really good. Somebody created this as maybe, I don't know, a store manager who thought, this is a good idea. Bypass tech, just tried it out on his little sample rate, because you can, of course, target just 1 or 2 people or a group of people. It didn't hurt anyone, tried it out. Super idea.
That's true. That's true. That's very true. But okay, we touched this point a little bit briefly previously during our conversation, but I'm curious to get a little bit more details about that, because from a tech perspective, what is then the true benefit of a no-code technology? Let's say we anticipated some of the potentially part of the answer, but maybe you want to elaborate further on this.
Yeah, sure. Well, no code is just that. It is no code. And the real benefit of it is we're allowing people who are not traditionally coders to have some kind of functionality. It's as a customer support agent, it may be that you're doing a day in, day out job that takes 1 or 2 hours every day to do something, you know, check on people or background check, these kind of things. With a modest bit of code training, they can actually now start automating their tasks, which saves them hours, and you can repurpose them or whatever you want. But the real benefit is you don't miss somebody. It is always checking. It is always doing these checks. Has the person had a PEP? Have they done KYC within the last 5 days? You can do all these wonderful things. And it really allows them to just drag and drop flowchart items on the screen, connect them up, and automate your daily tasks that are boring, or some rather nice fun tasks with game spins. It's up to you. But that's the real benefit.
Super true. And again, I'm clearly seeing this happening more and more while I'm discussing with people, because it empowers them to shape the process that maybe let's say they only had in their minds, and they were even probably afraid to discuss it with the technical team, because the tech team usually is so busy that they don't want to deal with strange things or new things that are not backed up with data, or to justify the change in the priority list. So definitely with flows, you can empower all these people at least to try and see if it could make an impact on your operation. Yes,
absolutely. What we have actually, when you come on board with flows, you get a bunch of example flows, these templates that you can use.
Yes.
What we're discovering is that people will see a template that's incredibly close to what they want, and they just start tinkering. They change one or two things here. They just start to learn it because they have a template to come from. It's not a grass field, and they start making everything bigger and bigger. And it's relatively easy to learn because they're very simple stages. If this, do that. It's very simple, and most people can pick it up very easily.
Yes, that's true. But then let's go back a little bit to the operation point of view. What is then, in your opinion, the possible impact that flows can have from a performance perspective?
Okay, well, performance is one of those holy grails, isn't it? People mention it, but they don't often think about what performance actually is. So there's performance of the hardware. That's on our side. We're a microservice. We auto balance and everything. We just don't go down. It's just a very fast system. Performance from flows, what we offer you really are two things. It's really the time to market that you gain. It's the speed that you can have a mad idea on a Friday night and just try it out. And you can actually be experimenting over the weekend if you want. And the fact that you don't need to involve the whole chain of people. That you can sit there and say, I wonder what would happen if we did ABC. And you just try it. You're not hurting any data because you're not updating anything. Potentially, you're just doing something for yourself. Maybe you just want to see how many people log on between 5 and 10 at night and are females from Germany. It's up to you. You could actually try something out like this. And then once you're happy, you can then either take it further or update some wallets or give bonuses. It's completely your choice. So time to market is the real performance gain you get.
Yes, that's true again. So now, Mike, let's go to the final question. Did you get the crystal ball with you today? Because I'm going to ask you quite a futuristic question then. What's the future of no-code technology? How do you see this evolving in the future?
Yeah, there's a whole plethora of no-coders coming out at the moment. I think we are quite unique in that we are going for the incredibly high volume game spin kind of thing. This is our niche. No-code, there are literally hundreds, no, maybe not hundreds, but there are a large amount of these people out there at the moment, all going after the similar kind of the markets, automations, etc. I think that proves we are in the right ballpark. Lots of people are doing this. You have the companies are waking up and saying, not just I'm on a PAM of some description, but I need to be unique. I need to change something so that I stand out on the ground. If you don't stand out, you're going to be just one of the sheep. So now that we're enabling you to really change the user journey or regulatory or anything like that, we allow you to actually come alive and be slightly different to all the other people. One of the other benefits of our particular offering is we also allow you to integrate in your code directly. So rather than just listening to events or flows or API calls, you can actually write a .NET or a Java class, which can give you the libraries, and you can interact with flows. So you could actually have your normal heavy lifting, saving registrations in your code, and then ask us, can you register this person? So you can actually control your code via the back end of Flow. So that's fairly unique, I think, in the world.
Yes. I totally agree. So, Mike, I don't have any other question for now for this for this session. Let's put it in this way. So I would
Okay.
really like to thank you for your time and to the people that will listen to this video. And please, if you didn't do it yet, follow us on the social media and subscribe to our newsletter, not to lose any new flow of the week. All right. Thank you again.
Thank you very much,
Mike, and we'll keep in touch. Bye bye.
Thank you very much.